Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Databracket. We have one more hands-on demo today. So today we are going to see how we can integrate and automate on WhatsApp and build an AI chatbot on WhatsApp. So basically it sometimes feels overwhelming to connect to OpenAI or DALI to generate responses or images based on our prompts, right? So let's eliminate that. Let's build something, and the end product we are going to see is a simple WhatsApp connector client that will use Selenium WebDriver to connect to our WhatsApp web and fetch the very recent message that we send to ourselves, and we use that message which have a prefix of either text or image separated by a colon. So we use. Alright, so this is what we are going to end up building. So this is the logic that I have put together to connect to the OpenAI's API and connect to our WhatsApp web client and query the messages. So let's see what will happen once we completely finish this. So the logic will connect to the website WhatsApp web from a browser using Selenium WebDriver client, and it will go to our page. So it'll fetch our profile, which is you in the WhatsApp web, and it clicks on our profile and it takes the very recent message. Here we have the message as how to build website using Python. It's gonna fetch that message and connect to the OpenAI and query the message and return the response for us. Let's wait for a few seconds and it should do the job for us. Yeah, it has connected and it has clicked and it is giving us the responses. Like, there are several ways it keeps sending us the message until the response is completed. Yeah, so we have a response here. So it have sent us 7 steps on how to do this and the code as well. This is good, right? So if we don't pass the information in the format that we need by the text or image prefix followed by the colon followed by the prompt, it will ask us to pass the valid prompt. So let's pass the valid prompt. Like, let's generate an image, baby laughing. So this is the prompt that we are passing this time. We want the API to connect to the image endpoint and return us the image. So this will return us an image of baby laughing. So the background operation is happening, so it will take a few seconds before we get our message. So as we can see, the image has been generated and this is the image URL, and the logic will send us the image in few seconds now. I am only generating one image. It's up to you. You can generate multiple images. I'll show you how to do that in the code in few seconds. Alright, there we have our message of baby laughing. It's cute. So let's try something else. Let's try to create an image of Elon Musk flying rocket. So I'm gonna give you a heads up. So this will not return us the image because this is against the policies. Like, we can see that our request was rejected as per a result of safety system. I don't think we can generate images of Elon Musk. They have flagged it somehow as unsafe, but we can do pretty much anything using the other API endpoints of the Open API. You just have to define a call method and it will do the rest of the job for us. So my channel is all about enabling you with the methods and design principles on how you can use AI or software principles in your own projects and learn or commercialize or monetize to become a better entrepreneur or a developer. If you don't want to miss any interesting content, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button to support me. And if you have any use case in mind, do leave a comment so I can build it explicitly for you from scratch based on the request hierarchy that I have from the channel. Alright, so let's get into it and do it right now. So let's do a walkthrough on the code and see what is happening in the code so that you can use it and build your own apps. Alright guys, so let's do a code walkthrough now and see what is happening. So we have all our imports. We have Selenium WebDriver to connect to our web browser and connect to the WhatsApp web and do the get and push operations. We have Beautiful Soup 4 to scrape the WhatsApp web HTML content and get the very recent message from our own image box. and we have request library to connect to the OpenAI endpoints. We have time to add a little wait time so that we can run this in loop and get our responses as we send our prompts to the WhatsApp web. And we have path lib and config parser to get the path of the file or image that we have generated and to fetch the configurations from a configuration file. So this is pretty straightforward. I'm using the config parser and reading the conf file and reading the API key. So you can get the API key from OpenAI's website. So if you go to platform.openai.com, you see that you have API reference. Sorry, no. So yeah, you have your view API keys page here. You can come here and generate your own API key. I have created one and placed in that conf.ini file. You can do the same, and you can come to the API reference page. You have multiple models here. We are using the one which is for chat, which returns us the response based on the text prompt. And we have our images endpoint, which we can use to generate the images. We have to pass the payload, and we have to uh, query the response as per the documentation. We will walk through this as well as we go along. So let's get back to our code. So with the API key in place, we have queried that. I have created two simple methods, one for the text call and one for the image call. Which text call will accept the question that we are sending in the WhatsApp message, which is the prompt. And I'm creating a header token as per the documentation. Here we have the header of content type JSON and the header for sending our bearer token inside the request. So we have to do a post request, and we have to send the JSON payload by passing the model name and the message that we want to send, which is nothing but the content should be the message. And this is the queue is nothing but the question that we are getting from our WhatsApp web call. And we are doing a post request and getting the response in the form of JSON, and we use this JSON and parse it in the next steps. Same thing is happening in the image call as well. We are passing the question and the file name that has to be generated. This file name will get auto generated based on the question that we pass. If we pass Elon Musk riding a bicycle, the file name will be Elon Musk riding a bicycle. You can tweak this, but I have kept this for the simplicity. And it's gonna return us the response if the image is generated, or if there is any safety concerns, it's gonna return us the error message based on the try catch or try except condition. Here it's just gonna get the response JSON data and the URL. We are going to use this URL, and we are going to write that into an PNG file in the next steps, and we are going to use that file to send to our WhatsApp web. So we have our image call and we have our text call. Now it's time for us to connect to the web browser and do our operation. So we will use Selenium's Chrome options WebDriver client, and we will pass our Chrome path where the Chrome is residing to get the cache and all the necessary cookies, so that we don't have to keep relogging into the WhatsApp. And we are going to use an experimental option which is detach true. This will keep the browser on, and we will pass the Chrome the options that we specified here using the WebDriver. And using that driver, we will get the WhatsApp web page. Once the browser is up, it will connect to this endpoint, it will get this page, and we will wait for 15 seconds because sometimes WhatsApp web will take time to load all the messages and display us the information and get us the HTML content. So that's why I'm adding a little wait time here, and I'm using WebDriver wait so that we can wait for the driver and we can get the elements that we want. Like we can call this presence of element located, as we'll see in the next steps. But we are defining this wait, WebDriver wait, in order for us to wait to get the elements that we are searching for. So I have added a while true condition for the lack of a better triggering mechanism or alerting. Like, I don't have triggering system in my local, like I can't use any notification or triggers that I can use in Windows and trigger this logic whenever I have a new message in the WhatsApp. So I have simply looping it every 20 seconds and reading the new messages which meet the prompt criteria, and I'm doing the rest of the operations. If you guys are deploying this in web, feel free to use Amazon's trigger or Lambda triggers and do your bidding. So first thing I'm doing is I'm getting the page source from the driver. This will give us all the HTML content, and I'm using beautiful soup as an LXML, and I'm using this to get the HTML into a queryable format. Using this soup client, I'm finding the span element with the title Nani. This will give my message box and my message element. So I'm querying three elements up so that I can get the parent class name of this, and with that complete div element, I'm going to find for the span element with the directory name LTR. This will have the message, this will have the question that we want. So whatever the recent question that we have in our message box which meets the criteria, this field will get us that question, and we will query it based on the colon, and we'll do the next things. So we will use this element and we will call the find method of the beautiful soup and get the string equal to true. This will make sure that whatever is in between this span elements, all the string will be returned to us. So if it is none, or if this question itself is none, I'm going to wait until the element is located, and I'm going to click on that my profile. I'm getting this element by using the XPath. Span title is my name. It's the same that we are doing in beautiful soup. So this will get the span element, and where the title is my name, which will go to the let's see, I'll show you guys live what this means. So if we see here, so this is a span element with the title Nani. So if I click on this, I'll come to this, my page will be open. So that's why I'm using that XPath, and this will, once we click on it, we will go to that page. So whatever we click, right, if we click on any other page, as we can see here, yeah, this is the span, and we should have title somewhere, title Penny, and whatever the text is in between the span elements will be returned using the where did it go, yeah, string equal to true. If we pass this element, it will give us a string between that span elements, and we will click on our profile and we will get the message box. So if we can see, this is the message box, right? So this is the message box, and this is the selectable text paragraph that we have. If we right click on this and if we copy the XPath, then we can see that the similar path that we have passed here, this will get me that element in the web page, and I'm going to use the XPath again to get that element, and I'm going to send keys, like I'm going to send a message in the message box saying that make sure to pass input with the correct format. This happens if there is like there is no message in the prompt at all, and it will do the keys dot enter. This will automatically hit on the send button or the enter key and send the message that we want to send. And if this condition is not met, then we will go to the next condition where we will have our prompt in the correct format, or we'll check if our question is in correct format or not. it has to be text colon the prompt or image colon the prompt. Because we are hitting two endpoints, I simply added this logic so that I can segregate them easily. So this will search the string that I'm passing, and it's gonna split it based on the colon. The 0th element of the colon would be text or image, and the first element of that list would be the prompt. If it is less than 2, then I will keep sending this message, please pass valid prompt, which is what we are seeing in our page right now. Because this doesn't have colon, and if I pass text colon or image colon the prompt, it will give me the valid response. And with that key in place, if this condition is also not met, then we will go to the main logic. So here we are doing the main operations. We are going to call the question.find.string. That will give us the question string, and we will get the question type, which is the 0th element after we do the split on colon, and the prompt, which is the first element of the list after we do the split on colon. And I'm simply appending .png to the prompt. As I said, this will create the prompts followed by the .png in order for us to save it as an image if the prompt is for image. And these are simple conditions that have added so that I don't have to keep repeating what I'm passing. So this is a simple logic. If the queried question, which is nothing but, one second, yeah, all right, so this queried question, and I have one more, which is API response. These are nothing but two empty lists that I've created in the beginning of the logic. So what this does is, we have two more lists here. One is for questions and one is for responses. This is like if it is empty, or if it already have the question that was previously queried. Let's say I have passed a question like what is Python. If this list is empty, or if this list already have that question appended to it, if this was the repeated run, then we are going to pass this condition and we are going to leave it there. If it doesn't matches, we will go to the next condition. Else, if that length is 0, like if it is empty, here I'm passing it just to make sure that the first call will not have any errors. So if this is 0, then I will append the question that we got from the WhatsApp web. If it already have a question which is different from the last queried question, we will overwrite that element of the list and we will overwrite it with the new question, so that we will have the current state that is going on. This is the logic that I've added simply for the simplicity. And here, if the question type which we queried from the question, like after splitting the question that we got from the WhatsApp web, we split it and using the first element. If the question type is text, I'm going to call the text API call. If it is image, I'm going to call the image API call. So the image API call will return only the response, and it will hit to the endpoint using the model name and the message. The image call will return the file name, the name where the file is saved, or the name of the file, and the response return type. If the image was not generated, then we are capturing the error message, and this error message is going to be either none or the message if there was any safety concern. And this is the payload that we are sending to the image call. The size of the image, you can alter this based on the OpenAI specifications. Like you can see here, we have these dimensions that you can pass, and you get the response in URL or JSON with base64 encoded. And you have to pass the number of images that you want to generate. Default is 1. You can pass more numbers like between 1 to 10, and it will give you the URLs that you can use to parse and convert them into images. So coming back to the code, once we call those calls based on the prompt type, we are going to go to the next step. If the question type is text, we are using this response object from this response, and we are getting the message content from that response body. So this is the body that so let's see how the response comes back in the chat. This is how the response will come back: the id, object, choices, and usage. We are going to query the choices object, and we are going to get the first element, and inside the first element we are going to call the message, and inside the message we have the content. This is the message that we are interested in, so I'm just querying this using the Python. So that's what is we are seeing here. If this is not there, then we will get message as error and message in the same format. I'm just using that to read the response. And for the image type, if the image type is true and if we have a file, we are going to open that file and read it. If not, we are going to read the error message, like response return. We are getting the file name or the error message. We are using it in the try except in the else statement. You can add this logic inside this logic only. I have added it separately so that it can be readable and just for the demonstration purposes. And the same logic is reused again for the thing that we did for the queried question in order to maintain the state. I'm doing the same appending operation to the list to maintain the state. So with that in place, I'm going to call the wait driver. I'm going to make sure that it waits until the element is found. The element is nothing but my profile. Once I find the profile, I will click on the profile. With that click, I will do the next operations. If the question type is text, I will search for the message box. I will find that using the XPath, and I will send the response. If it is text, right, we have got this response. If it is successful response or an error message, we will pass this response in the message box. If it is image, we will do two things. We will have a try except. First we will find the current working directory of this code, and we will get that and we will convert it as POSIX, and we will append our file name to this current working directory so that we have the file name that we can pass to the message. And with the file name, this will give us like the path c colon your folder name slash the file name. With that, we are going to first call the clip object. So in the WhatsApp, if we see, we will have this clip object, right? So if I click on this, we can see that the data icon is clip. So I'm calling this using the XPath. So data icon is click, which is a span object. I'm going to click on it, and I'm then calling the XPath again to get the image or video button. So inside this we have this photos and videos, right? So if I click on this, let's go. Wait. So this is the span, and we have the input. This is the input. So this is the accepted operation that we are going to use. Where did it go? Yeah, image or video 3. These are the options that we can attach to that link, right? So I'm going to use this input, accept, and that logic. Input, accept, and that field name, and I'm going to send keys, the file path that we have queried, like so that it can go to the file path and select that file path. With that file path in place, we are going to click on the send button. So if I come here, if I select the image, so this is happening through the logic and this is the image. So if we see this send button, right, we can see that data icon equal to send, which is also a span icon. So using the XPath, I am simply clicking on the send button and sending the image. If the image is not found, I am finding the message box as we did again previously for the text, and I'm sending the response, the error response that we got here. If we can see, if it is true, then we are opening the message. If it is false, we are getting the error message and passing it here. And I have added a small time here so that it can keep looping itself for every 20 seconds and read the message from the body, and it can send you the responses accordingly. Alright guys, so that's about it. So I think this was helpful for you, and I think I have added some value to your learning path. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye.